Hello everyone and welcome to the final match between KiwiKaKi and oGs Zinho. The first game went hands down to KiwiKaKi as we saw some fantastic stalker play on Metalopolis, and the second game actually went to oGs Zinho on Lost Temple, where he was pretty much able to out-macro KiwiKaKi. He was just not able to get enough fast enough tech to deal with the ledge harass on his expansion, and that really ended up hurting him a lot in the metagame. So oGs was pretty much able to expand around the map, and KiwiKaKi was struggling to keep going and match him up in the game. He was not able to secure the high yield, and he wasn't able to go pretty much anywhere past his natural expansion, which was getting harassed for a lot of the game. What are we going to expect to see today? I mean, so far Kiwi has been pretty consistent. We see that this pylon is already placed out here, so I'm going to guess that we're going to see a double gate play again, and again go for that slow tech with a forge, where he what's kind of interesting about this Protoss play is that he will go for a fast upgrade push, and he doesn't really vie for area of effect damage like getting high Templars or Colossus. Instead, he focuses pretty much on a heavily gateway army, where he will just get a bunch of stalkers and a couple of sentries, and he'll go pretty much 3-3 upgrades as fast as he can. And the fact that his units are just so much more upgraded than the Zerg players, he really doesn't need that area of effect damage to even up the ante, which is something you usually see in PvC. So before I go on, I would just like to give a big shout out to our sponsors: iFixit, SEVs for the real world, Esports United, The Handsome Nerd, iCCupTV, as well as TeamLiquid.net. So this probe is denying the expansion here right now. We see that the drone scout is coming out, picking away at this pylon, already seeing and pretty much probably expecting this build, since it's exactly what Kiwi has done the past two games. He has gotten these fast gateways, so oGs is preparing for it. He has already laid down this hatchery. Now the question is oGs going to be going for a one base play, or is he going to try to go for that fast expansion? Because there are two zealots here, it's going to be, two gateways here with zealots being pumped out right now. How is oGs going to be able to deal with a potential push? Might we see an offense as a defensive strategy, or is oGs actually, it looks like oGs is just making these Zerglings right now to push this drone out here, and he is going to be throwing down that hatchery. As we saw, the hatchery is being laid down, and we are going to see a defensive base play from oGs. So now the question is, how is oGs going to be able to deal with these fast zealots coming out? Is KiwiKaKi going to try to go for this fast hatchery, try to deny him this base, and potentially win in the early game, or is oGs going to be able to successfully fend this off, or are we going to see a double base, a double econ game where Kiwi also goes for that fast expansion, which is what we have been seeing in the past couple of games. So two more zealots being produced, and of course this forge is here. One assimilator up. Again, we see that there's the slow tech, so he's not going to be getting anything except for zealots anytime soon. There's also only not even any gas. He just has enough. He has a little bit extra. He has enough for that weapons upgrade. So that's what we see. So very heavy on the economy, on the mineral build, and this nice little wall here. This is what I love to see from Kiwi, where he has this multiple funnel entrance that makes it just almost impossible for Zerg to push through, especially in the early game. And in the late game, this makes for some very nice base defense. Now the only thing is that this nexus is a little bit exposed, so we might see Kiwi starting to build out here, maybe throw his core around here, and again go for that defensive base play where he goes for that that funnel build. We see there's one funnel here, and even a funnel up here if you consider this ramp, and throw some zealots up here. But it's nice to kind of have that natural funnel build, which I see Kiwi doing a lot, and I think is a really great move. So yeah, there's the pylon actually going pretty much in the mineral field. I'm not sure why I didn't want to put it here, because this will actually get in the way of some mining, but we'll see what he has in store for us. So looking back at oGs right now, he has pretty decent saturation. Looking at what is being produced, roaches are being produced right now, so oGs starting to break away at these rocks. These 6 Zerglings going to work on this destructible rock right here. See, that is kind of the problem with this build. The Zerg player can go roaches, and it's very difficult for zealots to deal with roaches because they can kite zealots pretty easily, especially on this creep. It's just not even a contest. It's almost like stalkers in the beginning against roaches. They can just keep harassing them around until that they just pretty much infinitely given as much land as they want, they can Zealot will never be able to hit a roach. So one Zealot is approaching on here. It looks like Kiwi is backing off because, like I've been saying, there's not much that Zealots can really do against roaches unless you pin them into a corner and you just have so many Zealots that it doesn't really matter. But Kiwi is going to be backing off right now. What is he going to do? He has this photon cannon here, so that is kind of how he deals with a roach push. So actually smart play by Kiwi. He was going off for the offensive to try to test the water, see what oGs is going, so he was able to get out a pretty effective scout. He is even sacrificing a Zealot so that he could try to see even more, but oGs is not letting that happen. So photon cannon and 2 stalkers being boosted out right now. So Kiwi is now going for his tech. He's getting those warp gates. 2 stalkers coming out. He has an assimilator here. He has a forge here, and he has not yet chosen to go for that ground armor. I'm sure we will soon see that once he gets enough resources. So now Kiwi is moving with some stalkers. So stalker is kind of the anti-roach in the beginning. Zealots are the anti-ling in the beginning. So we'll see. I think right now that Kiwi does have the advantage in army composition. It's 4 roaches and 2 zerglings against, or sorry, that's being produced. Right now it is 8 Zealots, 2 stalkers against 17 zerglings and 5 roaches. So I think Kiwi might be able to deal with this. He's able to get enough, if he's able to whittle down these roaches enough with the stalkers, but he actually might not have enough stalkers right now. I think oGs was able to prepare and build up a big enough army for Kiwi to deal with, and the cutoff coming out right here, trying to trap this Protoss force. He has done a nice job pinching back here. These zerglings are getting swarmed, but at the same time the roaches are pushing up in the back, doing a lot of damage to these Zealots. He's going to be able to pick up at least a couple more. Huge losses for Kiwi right now. All these Zealots are going to go down, and Kiwi decides that it is not even worth to run. He might as well try to kill whatever he can. One stalker is going to try to just scurry back home, and he is definitely outmatched right here. He might be able to pick off a couple of roaches. That one roach might go down if he is able to pick that off. So close. The roach is down, so one stalker able to get at least a little bit of kill on that. But looking at the resource loss, huge losses for Kiwi. That zergling mobility was absolutely clutch. I love that play, pinching in the Protoss force against these rocks with those zerglings over there, despite the fact that they were going to get pretty much mopped up by the Zealots, but definitely worth it. Another stalker getting trapped right here, so Kiwi right now in a tough position. He only has 1 photon cannon and 3 stalkers, and 1 photon cannon well placed here. So Kiwi, definitely his strong suit against Zerg is just getting that fantastic base play. He has his sentries here right now, so at no point is Kiwi really all that worried right now. The Zerg player has decided to back off, but he has also picked up another expansion. What helped oGs out a lot in the last game was that he was really just able to out-macro Kiwi while Kiwi goes for this kind of infantry tech. So let's see how that goes. And actually a robotics facility being constructed right now, probably just for the observer. We might even see a couple of immortals. That might not be a bad choice to get against a pretty heavy roach army, but right now we see spires being constructed and hydras are being built right now too. What's interesting to see when oGs or Zerg players go this kind of heavy macro build, it's just really easy for them to go for a heavy tech like this, getting a Hydralisk and a Spire at the same time. Kiwi realizing he is a little bit outmatched right now. He is going for these rocks, and he's going to try to match up on the economic game. But as we see, oGs is going for the high yield, so he is actually going to be a little bit behind right now. Weapons level 2 are being researched. He has the armor, he has the ground, but right now Kiwi is going to need to do a lot. He's going to need some kind of special tech. I don't think that he is just going to be able to match unit per unit against oGs right now. However, as I've been saying, it really is that that upgrade difference that has given Kiwi this advantage throughout the game. He is about to have weapons level 2. His army is a lot stronger per unit because of that quality of the armor and the defensive and the offensive abilities and upgrades. So oGs right now pretty much does have a sizable force. He pretty much does have the food advantage. So Kiwi is going to be in a little bit of a tough position. But as we see, Kiwi is going straight for the high yield. He definitely should be. He needs to get up and ahead of oGs as soon as possible. Looking at the income difference, he is about 400 to 500 minerals behind, and the harvester count for oGs is just ridiculous. 74 harvesters, unbelievable amounts of harvesters right now. So he is pretty much going to be able to keep that max unit composition going throughout the game and going forward. And here is a battle approaching right now. Do we see oGs morphing in, or is he going to be able, or is he going to decide to move back a little bit? I think right now, just the fact that Kiwi is